the judgment at the end of all time, the time when God will sort the righteous from the unrighteous and attend to all the injustice and evil there ever has been. And don't forget the devil, the evil that he's responsible for sowing. That was a helpful way for Christians to exist in a confounding time, and yet to remain faithful in a world that didn't make sense. Christ has come. So why did some people believe and others didn't? Why did local thugs or the aristocracy or invading armies persist? Why suffering and violence and evil? The latter part of the latter half of the appointed passage that we just heard is almost certainly not something that Jesus taught, but rather it is what the church needed to say in order to hold together the dissonance of reality. All the bad things were a given. That was normal. But why did they persist after Christ entered their lives, entered the world? I don't have an answer, by the way. But the courage to face reality is the treasure that I find in scriptures like these. And in this faith also, particularly the kind that this church, the Episcopal Church and tradition offers. This treasure is not self-evident, that much I will admit. But this is why Christianity always has only ever been a communal faith. Communal, never solo. When I was 13, some of you have heard me say this before, I told the rector of my church that I thought God was a collective fiction made real by our wholehearted intentions. But he didn't laugh or turn red-faced. He said, "Tell me more." And more than a decade or two later, when I finally woke up to the unwellness in my marriage, my priest listened, and he helped me find my way through. And though I felt alone, I never was. Facing reality is what I have found. It takes me to this inward confrontation with myself. All of myselves. Heaven and hell, good and evil, love and hate, compassion and condemnation, all of it lives within me. My friends in the recovery community know the transformative power of facing reality and the destruction of not facing reality. The Christ who lives in my life is this unfolding pattern that always faces reality while refusing to reject it, refusing to abandon whatever is difficult or wounded or ugly or hurtful, but instead remaining present and open-hearted to the ugly and the hurtful and the wounded, holding those dichotomies together, bringing about something new through a love that is unafraid to die or surrender or let go and let be. The struggle with reality is, to me, the great Christian path. Saint Isaac the Syrian, a 7th century monk, reflected on what I think is this truth, saying, make peace with yourself. Make peace with yourself, and heaven and earth will make peace with you. I take this to mean that the kingdom of God that Jesus proclaimed lives within the human soul. And then it forms around us and passes through us to one another. I believe this faith calls us to this kind of deep inner work, deep confrontations with reality and with our past, and with the past that others have handed to us, unintentionally, sometimes unconsciously. To come to this peace within yourself, within myself, is hard, hard work. But by God, it is the work. It is the way. At least one way. But it's my way. And it is what this place is for, what this community is for healing, to come to peace in our time.